What is going on, everybody? There we go. Now we're working. Let me get this working here for you guys. We'll get your full screen on the radar so you guys can get a bigger view. It is your boy Chris Evans here with Zero Meter Chasers. And as you guys can tell, my voice is absolutely cooked this evening. I've been at a football camp. I coach high school football, and I've been there all weekend. So this is not going to be a very long live update, but I did want to go live here as we do have a severe weather that is ongoing in western Kentucky. So if you guys could just put a comment in the chat or like this post to let me know that my mic is working. Here we are looking at the radar here on the Weatherfront website, and you'll see the severe thunderstorm watch that is in place here until 1 a.m. This evening for a complex of thunderstorms that is continuing here in between Evansville and Madisonville. And we'll kind of look at this here in the next couple of minutes and kind of see some of the alerts that are out. Again, we have some severe thunderstorm warnings that are ongoing here in western Kentucky. We do have a destructive severe thunderstorm warning for 80-mile-an-hour winds just to the north of Madisonville. So if we rock this back a little bit, this is what we were more worried about. Was this a little bit just to the northwest of Seabury, Kentucky, northwest of Madisonville? I do think that some of the velocities have came down a little bit, but there's actually an uptick of velocities here near Owensboro that I think might have some damaging wind gusts with that pushing into Owensboro right now. So we are worried about just damaging wind gusts primarily. We'll look at, I did want to pull up, if you give me 1 second here, we'll pull up the mesoscale discussion that the SPC did just issue here for this complex of cells. And we'll pull it full screen here. And here's where the SPC is highlighting for the highest possibility for damaging wind gusts over the next few hours. You'll see here are the peak probabilities over here on the side. They're expecting anywhere from 55 to 70 mile an hour wind gusts. There is an isolated tornado, although I do think that the tornado risk tonight is very low. I don't think we have a very high tornado risk, but we could get a quick spin up tornado, but you can see that tornado would be under 90 miles an hour estimated peak guidance. So not really worried about strong tornadoes or very large hail this evening. Really just worried about this wind threat. Again, we did have that 80 mile an hour considerable damaging wind severe thunderstorm warning. So we'll continue to see these thunderstorms here in between kind of the I-69 and I-65 corridor, really along the Bluegrass and Western Kentucky parkways as we get through the afternoon and evening hours here. And again, let me get that off and we'll show radar. And I did want to show the HRRR kind of what to expect, because it does look like this complex of storms is going to be pushing further towards the I-65 corridor as we get into the afternoon and evening hours. So again, we have these complex of storms just south of Evansville. A new thunderstorm warning here. This looks to be in southern Illinois near Harrisburg, Illinois. And again, if we look at the velocity, we're really just worried about those damaging wind gusts. As storms kind of collapse or as they kind of congeal into a line, we'll get some of those damaging wind gusts over the next few hours. Again, I did want to look at the latest HRRR to kind of show you guys what to expect as we get into the afternoon and evening hours here. So again, we have this complex of storms that is out in western Kentucky, and we'll continue to see these storms kind of congeal into a line in the next few hours. Again, model data does not do a good job with these summertime thunderstorms. The HRRR is already under convecting, meaning it's not showing the thunderstorms that are already on radar very well at all. So we'll continue to see those thunderstorms probably advance towards the I-65 corridor in the next few hours. Again, it's going to be a little bit more widespread than the HRRR is showing. But as we get to about midnight, you'll see this complex of storms is approaching the I-65 corridor, and you'll see more scattered storm development is going to be likely. So I don't know if the SPC or the National Weather Service is going to extend that watch to the I-65 corridor. We'll go over kind of where that watch is. Currently, it's kind of here in the Madisonville area, but it'll be interesting to see kind of how the storms kind of track as we get into the next few hours. So if we move it to about 2 a.m., you'll see it'll be an ongoing complex of storms, probably an organized MCS less as we get into the overnight hours. And then as we get to about 3 or 4, we have more cold pooling. So another thing, I haven't really covered it yet on this video, we have high PWATs this evening, meaning we have the extremely high moisture content. So with any of these thunderstorms that kind of train over the same areas, I am worried about a little bit of a flooding issue as we get into the overnight and evening hours. And we'll kind of look at that here. Here's the SPC's slight risk for severe weather as we get into the next evening and overnight tonight. You'll see that slight risk is really posted here from the I-65 corridor and points off to the west. So I do think the I-65 corridor could see some severe weather as we get deeper into the evening. You'll see that tornado risk is really just that 2% risk where we have storms ongoing currently. And that's where we could have a brief isolated spin up tornado, but I'm not really worried about the tornado risk tonight. It's not a high tornado risk at all. When we look at our wind risk, that is where we have that 30%. Again, props to the SPC because they issued the watch early today, and we already have warnings ongoing currently and where this 30% wind risk is from earlier today. So the SPC killed their forecast today, and you'll see that 30% wind risk here, places like Hopkinsville, Madisonville, and Evansville, and then we have that 15% wind risk as you get towards the I-65 corridor. So more scattered wind gusts are going to be likely as we get into the afternoon and evening, and again, we have really no hail risk with these. One thing I did want to show is the excessive rainfall outlook because we do have a slight risk or a marginal risk, of flooding as we get into the afternoon and evening. Again, we have high moisture content, and anywhere where kind of that cold pooling happens or storms train over the same area, that could lead to some of that isolated reports of flash flooding as we get into the afternoon and evening. So, as we always say, make sure you turn around and don't drown. I did want to show radar one more time and kind of show where that severe thunderstorm watch is currently. It kind of stops here in Grayson and Breckenridge County and points off to the west. So it's it's from Hopkinsville to Madisonville, Bowling Green. You are included in this. Evansville and Harrisburg, Illinois are all included in this severe thunderstorm watch. And then you'll see those severe thunderstorm warnings that are posted here just to the north of Madisonville. So, again, I apologize for my voice. I just got a text from Mike, and actually he might have put something in the chat. Let me see. So Mike just said, reports of damaging wind trees a few minutes ago west of Henderson. So yeah, that's not surprising. So this complex of storms is already causing damage confirmed. So I do think it's not going to take high wind gusts to bring down trees with how saturated our ground is. So I do think that it'll lead to some tree branches, maybe some trees being uprooted with just 50 and 60 mile an hour wind gusts as we get into the afternoon and evening hours. But again, I wanted to get into my voice. Mike just texted me. I was checking my phone. Again, I'm a football coach and I had camp over the weekend. That is why my voice sounds like this. It is absolutely cooked. And I just wanted to get on here and do a live update for you guys as we did have severe weather ongoing in Western Kentucky. But if you guys do have any questions, right now would be a good time to put it in there. Again, I'm not sure if we'll see this severe thunderstorm watch be extended further to the I-65 corridor. I think it really just depends on how this complex of storm kind of tracks in the next couple of hours. But it does look like the storm activity is going to increase as we get into the afternoon and evening hours, especially along the I-65 corridor. So that's kind of what I'm looking at right now. Again, you can put any questions that you have here in the chat for any specific areas. We'll kind of I did want to look at one more thing here. We do have this complex of storms that's currently ongoing here, and it'll continue to go tonight. And we do have that slight risk that's kind of posted for central and northeast Kentucky tomorrow. You'll see it's kind of posted along the western Kentucky and Bluegrass Parkways and points off to the north and east, anywhere from E-Town to Lexington to Cincinnati. And again, this looks like a more primarily a wind threat tomorrow. I could see this 30% wind risk kind of get extended a little bit further south, and we'll have another complex of storms as we get into tomorrow afternoon and evening that'll have kind of a damaging wind threat with those. So just another active period. You know, it has not been a very normal summertime here in Kentucky, and we'll continue that for the next couple of days until we kind of flip the pattern here. So I'm ready for fall. I don't know about you guys, but I'm ready to get this stormy pattern out of here, kind of get to some fall weather so we can bring on the snow. and start to bring on some winter storm forecasting. That's what I'm excited for. So, again, we'll be looking at those severe storms here out in western Kentucky that'll start approaching the I-65 corridor around the midnight time frame. I don't think storms are going to make it past the I-65 corridor, but I could see a couple of warnings, severe thunderstorm warnings, along the I-65 corridor for damaging wind gusts in the next couple of hours. The main threat is going to be here from Madisonville to Hopkinsville to Evansville. I kind of draw that out for you guys real quick. I think the main damaging wind threat is going to be right in this area in the next couple of hours. You can get some damaging wind gusts outside of this area, but this is where the greatest concentration of storms is going to be for the next couple of hours. So that'll be where the most damaging wind gusts will occur. So that'll be kind of the update for today. We'll have another update for tomorrow with our update for another MCS complex that looks likely, especially in central and eastern Kentucky. But for tonight, the stormy pattern will continue through the afternoon and evening, and we'll see continued rounds of showers and storms through the afternoon and evening hours tonight. So this will approach the I-65 corridor around midnight. So if you're in the E-Town or Louisville, Bowling Green area, this looks to reach our area around midnight. So that's kind of what I'm looking at. Corey is on standby for any updates or any broadcasts that are needed. I'll kind of look at any velocity here, see if we see any damaging wind gusts here. I got to change radar sites real quick. But again, it'll be a primary damaging wind. And you can see that the damaging wind. That's why that destructive tag was put on here. Radar is picking up on about 60 to 65 mile an hour wind gusts just to the north of Madisonville. So that is definitely going to cause enough to bring down some trees here, anywhere from Providence to Hanson, just to the north of Madisonville. So we'll just continue to see these rounds of showers and storms through the evening. Not a high severe risk, but we'll see some severe thunderstorm warnings continue through the afternoon and evening hours. So again, I appreciate everybody coming in here. I appreciate all the support, and I'll have another video probably tomorrow mid-morning around the lunch hour. We'll do another live video, and I'll cover another MCS complex that looks to move in here Monday afternoon and evening, especially in central and eastern Kentucky. So again, I appreciate everybody. If you're in the severe thunderstorm watch, I'll kind of zoom out real quick. If you live in this area right here, just know the showers and storms are going to increase in Hopkinsville and Bowling Green as we get through the next couple of hours. So just make sure you have a plan in case a warning gets issued. So again, appreciate everybody coming in here, and I hope everybody has a blessed and safe night. Thank you, guys.